Hi, this is Joe Rabil from Rabil Stock Research with your Daily 5 today. As I've said many times on this show over the past year, I'm a bottom-up technical analyst. I like to look at a significant number of stocks and determine how I feel about the overall market by doing that. I'm going to show you one of the charts that I send out to my subscribers each week that accumulates the trends of all the stocks, both short-term and long-term, in the S&P 500. And then I'm going to provide some stock ideas to watch as the market pulls back. At least that's what it looks like it wants to do starting this morning. So let's go ahead and get into our first chart. So the first chart I have is something, again, from my reports. And I send this out Monday mornings. What this is telling us is, first, the short-term positives is essentially where these are taking I do about 400. I don't do a S&P 500 list. I do a large cap universe. And in that large cap universe, there's about 400 stocks that I'm reviewing over the course of the weekend. And what I'm looking at from a short-term standpoint is if there's positive momentum and there's a potential for this for a stock to have, some rally capability, then it'll show up in this list. And what I find interesting as we look at this is that we've had a really nice move off the low. I mean, we got down to a point, and I use it as an overbought, oversold oscillator this way, where when we get oversold, when all the stocks are basically saying that they're negative, then we should be on the lookout for a reversal of that. And I usually use the 30% level and the 70% level as overbought, oversold. So if you see what's taken place, we've had a pretty nice rally. We moved up and we got over 70%. Right now we're at 71 after turning down. And but what I wanted to point out about this specific indicator that I've noticed over the years is by accumulating these numbers, for some reason, the 50% mark ends up being really important. We can see on the way up, as long as the number of stocks that I'm accumulating on a short-term basis is holding this 50% level, then the trend can be maintained to the upside. And the same thing to the downside. Once we flipped over, in fact, later in the year, we started to get signs that there was deterioration in this universe because we broke below the 50% mark and then failed at it, and now we're turning back to the upside. So my question is, as we pull back here and the market gets tested, can we hold this 50% mark? If we can, then I think you really want to be on the lookout for stocks that look attractive. If we fail here and this thing doesn't hold the 50% mark, then I think we have to be even more cautious than we have been already, because this sets the stage for something a little bit more deterioration overall. And we're going to see the longer term positives, which are basically all the stocks out of this 400 that are in uptrends. Right now, there's 28% of them that are in uptrends. It's not good enough to expect any kind of a really powerful move to the upside. What we're going to want to see is, as this pulls back to the 50% mark, this doesn't give back that much. And then as we turn up again, if we can turn up again from the 50% mark, we want to see this go to another new high and see this sort of getting back above 30, 40, 50%. If we can pull that off, then we could be, starting a new bull market. Now, my feeling is that this is going to take a lot more time. Just looking at the individual stock patterns that are out there, I don't think this can happen quickly. There's a lot of damage done. There's a lot of stocks that are below their declining 18 months now. So most of the time when that happens, we can wallow around here for a while. It's not like what happened in 2018 or 2020. I would not expect a quick reversal like we saw here. I could see this wallowing down in this oversold condition for a while. Now, we have to respect this 50% mark from a short-term standpoint, and that's why I'm going to give you some ideas to be on the lookout for on an individual stock basis. So let's go through and look at, so the first stock I'm looking at is Motorola Solutions. So let me give you the reasons why I find this attractive. So first of all, my feeling is, when you're in a bear market, you want to focus in on the stocks that are holding up. Okay, we've had a big decline. Now, if I go through and, the chart that I brought up before with respect to this overbought, oversold condition, I also do for the individual sectors. And right now, on an overbought condition, in the overbought condition in the sectors, we have consumer discretionary, we have industrials that are overbought, financials are overbought, technology are short-term overbought, and even utilities are short-term overbought right now. So it's not surprising that we see some kind of a pullback from this point, because all of these sectors that have turned up from their lows have gotten short-term overbought, and we haven't seen enough improvement on a longer-term basis. Now, I don't want to show all those charts because I don't want to use up my 5 charts, but just suffice it to say, the areas, the sectors that have bounced have moved up into overbought territory. So what does that mean to me? Well, what I want to do is I want to watch those sectors as they're pulling back and see if they can hold that 50% mark. And if they can, you want to be looking for stocks like Motorola Solutions. This is a stock that's still in a long-term uptrend. It's showing good momentum conditions on the monthly chart. If we go and look at the weekly chart, there was some signs of selling during this period here. We saw some red DI causing the ADX to drop. We saw some signs of selling based on the fact that the MACD drop down below the zero line here. But look at what's happened on this move back to the upside. They've both resurfaced. Green DI has kind of taken over again. The MACD has recovered the zero line. And look at the strength of ADX on the daily chart. So those are not small things. I think those are really important. Now, the question is, can this come down? There's support somewhere around 235, 240 in this stock. Now, we're getting a little bit of a hit today. The question is, can it come down and hold that key support zone while our sector chart works back to neutral, hopefully, and can hold? And if that happens, then we want to take a hard look at a stock like this, because this could go and take off, at least go a nice leg to the upside. Not necessarily start a whole mega trend to the upside, but probably get a really nice move to the upside from that standpoint. Another stock to watch is Palo Alto Networks and Technology. This one's another one that didn't break down. This showed no sign of selling on the weekly chart, really. The MACD never really got down any really significantly below the zero line on the weekly chart. And this has a lot of support over 500. If this can hold 500, I think there's a very good chance that this has survived. And we always want to look, in a bear market, you want to look for the survivors. You want to look for the stocks that never broke down. Those are the stocks that ultimately could be really powerful once the market turns. Typically, at a bear market low, when the market's making its final bottom in a bear market, the best stocks will be 50% off their bottoms. So you want to keep that in mind as we're watching and we're looking for what is surviving. Let's look at a financial stock, Thomson Reuters. Same pattern. Notice how the uptrend on the monthly chart with good momentum characteristics based on the ADX. No real signs of dramatic selling strength on the weekly. We did have some overrun on the weekly chart with the MACD, but it's recovered back above the zero line. So this is another stock that's going to pull back. You can see the daily chart wasn't really ready for this to go up. The 18 is still declining. So this should come back and test the support area, somewhere in the 100, 110 area. I think if we can hold, especially the 105 to 110 area, if we can do that, then the momentum conditions in place here, we're going to hold the 18 and the 40 week. And I think that sets the stage for, a potential move to the upside. Let's look at ULTA. So another area is this consumer discretionary area that's overbought right now. It got crushed pretty hard, just like technology. It's overbought. It should pull back. We're going to see how it can handle the 50% mark. And during this pullback, look at what's taken place during the market correction, or whatever you want to call this decline that we've had so far, this bear market decline. MACD hasn't even broken the zero line on a weekly chart. There's no sign of sellers whatsoever. We have a low ADX condition in place on the weekly chart, and now we're breaking out of a low ADX pattern on the daily chart. So what I like to do and tell my subscribers, I don't like to buy breakouts, especially in the environment we're in, without a little bit more confirmation. So I want to see this come back and test this breakout area and then turn back up and kind of prove itself. And if we have that, this could be something to really watch. So depending on how things play out in the overall market, market, I think this is a stock to be on the lookout for. I think all four of these are charts to watch as the market pulls back. And if they remain resilient in their relative strength lines, these are the relative strength lines, if they're all moving higher here and maintaining their strength, then I think these could play very well in some kind of a rally, recovery, strength leg to the upside. So that is our hope you enjoyed this segment. That's the Daily 5 for today. You can contact me through LinkedIn or find my research on rabilstockresearch.com. In addition, if you'd like to learn more about trend, MACD, and ADX in multiple timeframes, I have a YouTube channel and a book called Invest Like a Pro, which delves into this subject. Have a great trading day, and I'll see you next time.
Hey guys, Dave Keller here with StockCharts.com. Thanks so much for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, and we hope you did, hit the like button right below. Also, we have so much new content every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button in the video or right below. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Have a fantastic day.